So today I'm installing this box on the front of my trailer. You'll probably wonder why I'm installing this at such a weird angle. And the reason is whenever you put your stabilizer bars on here, you can't really put anything back really far on here. So that's the reason why this is at a weird angle. You might be lucky and have a longer tongue, but in my situation, it's not that long. So this is the side of the box I can kind of get on there. And I still need to be able to open it this direction to get access to my generator. Now, in my case, I can put a generator in this size because I don't need a giant box because I got a smaller generator. So this works out really good for me. So when you do install an aluminum item on a steel frame, you need to put plastic in between the bracing right here because you can't have aluminum touching steel. It causes a galvanic reaction and it doesn't eat up this, it'll eat your frame. So you got to have a piece of plastic in between. And in here, I'm using stainless steel brackets to bracket it down to it. So let's get started installing this. Okay, so I used these brackets. They're stainless steel to attach that. I cut this plastic and I stuck it in between here, and then I've clamped those brackets down. These brackets are right here. Bolted them inside. That way it's nice, it's separated from the metal to the aluminum, and it's bracketed down really tight. I have two on this side, one on that side. Now you probably are wondering, why did I even mount it kind of crooked? It's so I can open this door. So I got perfect access to this door on this side. I can put my generator in there, and I can still access the sway control bars. So I could have gotten the skinny box. It would have been longer, but it would have been in the way of the sway control bars. So this was a good way to give me a nice, nice deep box that are not in the way of those sway control bars. And because this is here now, I was able to mount the propane to the top of this. And again, there's plastic in between, so the steel has plastic in between. Big stainless steel screws, so they're screwing this down into it. And that way the propane is nice and secure on top. So normally your propane's down here. There's no reason why you can't have it up here as long as your hoses will reach. Now, if your hoses don't reach, you can easily get longer hoses for that, but mine was fine. They reached just fine. And as you can see, my generator will slide right in. It's a tight fit, but it does fit. That's a 1500 watt generator. And I know you're thinking, a 1500 watt generator, what am I going to use that for? And the answer is a 1500 watt generator. This produces 1000 continuous watts. This is to charge my batteries, and everything runs off the battery set. So I can bring this out. I have two Victron IP22 chargers that are in parallel in there. So when I plug the generator to the RV, it'll put 60 amp hours of batteries power back in the battery. So it's 60 amp hours per hour it puts back into the battery. And because my air conditioner is low wattage, I can run AC, I can run everything off of this. So this gives me a good option when there isn't enough solar to power everything back up. I can just pull this out and run it. It's quiet. This is an inverter generator, so it's quiet. It only uses about 1 gallon of gas per 6 hours, or 5 hours probably with it running. So it can pretty much top off my batteries whenever I need to off of 1 gallon of gas. So it's very efficient for that. And, I don't want to put this in the RV or in the bottom area. I don't want it to have that gas smell because it's going to be gassy. I don't want that smell inside my RV. So it's a nice way to get this out of your RV. And the way I set mine up is, a low wattage air conditioner. You can do two options. You can get one of those newer inverter air conditioners like Turbro has, or the Furrion Chill Cube. Those are low wattage air conditioners. There's another one out there too I'm going to be testing later on. And You can also use this to run your LG, it's a dual inverter window air conditioner. And that thing only uses about maybe 250 to 300 watts of power. So it's really, really low wattage. And this keeps the gas out here. And I just bring it out when I need it. So I can lock it up. Has a nice lock on it. And you can see it's nice and sturdy on the RV now. It won't rot my frame. Just a nice option. You can measure out how much space you have on yours, but for mine, this was a really good fit. And I'll put the dimensions of this one right up here, that way you can see what the dimensions are. But that's it. Like I said, really simple. I now have a generator outside the RV. You know, it's another storage area too, you know, if you need storage. And just a nice fix all around. So that's it for this episode. And again, if you like what we're doing, please subscribe because you all make it happen.